A scary situation of fires growing quickly in Butte County, forcing evacuations tonight. We want to show you some images right here on your screen. You can see thick, dark plumes of smoke. This is a time-lapse video of the fire, now called the Apache Fire. It's in the Palermo area, just south of Oroville, off Apache Hill Road. That fire started just before 7:30 tonight.
Okay, Butte County deputies have announced several evacuations, and as we mentioned earlier, the list has been growing throughout the evening. People in these zones are being told they need to leave now or at least prepare to leave. This impacts people around Upper Palermo Road to Van Zant Lane, Lois Lane, the Nob Hill Avenue area, and Butte Vista Road areas. Ruth's Court is also under evacuation.
Yeah, and speaking of those evacuations tonight, an evacuation shelter is now available at the Oroville Nazarene Church. Del Oro's small animal shelter is also open in Oroville. A large animal shelter is opening at Camelot on Clark Road. ABC 10's Luke Clary is live at the fire right now. Luke, you've been showing us some really dramatic images. What are you seeing? What are you learning right now?
Hey Laura, I'm standing right in the middle of one of those mandatory evacuation zones, and you don't have to look very far to see why that is. Take a look behind me, and as you can see, some sort of structure there is on fire. Huge flames there. Earlier tonight we saw what appeared to be a roof. That looks to be gone. There's still a structure in the foreground that, again, appears to be someone's home. So it's not clear to us right now whether that's a garage or an outbuilding or some other structure that caught on fire. I see a light that just turned on over there. We saw a number of CAL FIRE crews staging around doing structure protection. As we have seen up and down this road, we are on Grub Road to give you some indication of exactly where we're standing right now. We're just southeast of the town of Palermo, not far from Oroville, a very rural part of Butte County. But up and down Grub Road, there are lots of people's homes and ranches that are right in the line of fire. And as you can see here, there's a lot of this very light, flashy, dry vegetation. This is a fuel-driven fire, according to CAL FIRE's Butte Unit Fire Captain Dan Collins. We spoke with him earlier today as they brought in lots of resources here to tackle this fire. Take a look over there. You can see so many engines here from Butte County, from CAL FIRE and beyond. In fact, the Sites Fire, which was burning very close by, had a demobilization. That is, lots of those resources were cleared from that fire and brought in here to fight the Apache Fire, which has now grown to more than 600 acres. It's still moving fast because although the winds aren't necessarily blowing that hard, there's just tons of dry grass and dry vegetation for this fire to chew up on its move. So we'll continue to follow this fire as it develops. Again, we're standing right in the middle of the evacuation zone and not seeing an awful lot of activity right now as the fire appears to be burning rather slowly, but we'll continue to monitor this as it develops. And for now, reporting live in Butte County, Luke Clary, ABC 10.
Luke, you mentioned the winds. Here's the thing. There was no red flag warning today. I don't know that people were perhaps prepared for this. We know here in California, you should always have a go bag ready just in case you have to leave. But talk about some of the conditions that you're seeing out there. What are firefighters up against tonight?
Yeah. Well, yeah, as you said, Chris, there's no red flag warning in effect right now, but this is one of several fires that we saw breaking out just today alone. There was a fire in Roseville, another grass fire that just sort of blew along with the wind, not necessarily very fast, but because those fuels on the ground, the grass is just so incredibly dry, it doesn't take an awful lot to get it up and going. We saw a line of people making their way out of this, just obeying those evacuation orders to get out of here. But we also saw a lot of people just pulling off to the side of the road to watch as the fire burned in the distance. It's an eerie sight, Chris, to see the fires in the distance, the smoke in the air, and it's all sort of illuminated from the fire below in spite of the fact that it's, dark night sky. A very eerie sight and a scary one for the people who live in this area, Chris.
So true, and our hearts go out to those who have perhaps lost their home tonight. As you showed us that structure that was burning. We'll be following this throughout the evening and check back in shortly. Luke, we thank you. But for now, I want to get over to Monica because I know you're tracking conditions. Do we have possible more fire danger this week, Monica?
Well, as Luke was mentioning, everything is just so crispy out there. And Chris, you were asking just a moment ago, too, what are the conditions like in terms of our comparison? And you can see just as a couple weeks ago, we were well above what we've been over the 5-year average with several thousand acres burning and well ahead of 2023. The last 2 years have been fairly quiet in terms of large scale wildfires throughout Northern California. So we've had 2 wet years in a row. Lots of fuel to burn, so it doesn't take much to start to, move through some of that dry grass, especially on the heels of some of this heat we've been dealing with. As far as those winds, they're east to southeast at 7 miles per hour near Oroville, near that fire. As Luke was saying, not terribly prominent for those winds, but any little wind isn't going to do a whole lot of good in terms of fighting those fires. And those, by the way, are very dry winds as well. Here's a look at those temperatures. 102 today for Oroville, Marysville 101, Stockton, Modesto, both in the 100s, despite the fact that we saw showers and thunderstorms there for today. Reappearance of that possible for tomorrow's forecast. We have a little bit of cloud cover out there for tonight, and it may have a bit of a muggy feel into our Tuesday morning. Here's the moisture that's trying to surge its way back towards California. It's part of a tropical system that was once a tropical storm, now not a tropical storm, but certainly providing the moisture to give us at least that chance of showers and perhaps a thunderstorm into that Tuesday forecast as well. We'll be tracking that as well as fire conditions for tonight into tomorrow.